Hey y'all, Jazz Creations Art Sanity, back again for part 2 of this Freeform Midnight Geode, and we're going to demold this thing. So I'm just kind of breaking the seal away from that silicone and the resin, trying to get my fingers underneath there to lift that up off the plastic. There we go. So this is pretty easy to pull off. I mean, the silicone just pulls right off of there. Now I'll tell you, the very first one that I didn't use the right caulking to make my mold. I used, well, first of all, the cheapest thing that I could find, which is never good. And it was an acrylic-based caulking with very little silicone in it. And let me tell you, it did not come off. I ended up having to cut what I could off, and then I just covered it with some stones. So yeah, if you're going to do this, make sure that you have 100% silicone caulking for this. So that's what the back looks like. Here's an up close. I really like how this came out, that red blue color shift mica powder there. Now you can see they're kind of at the top, the blue there, that there's like wisps of that blue from that color shift pigment that are in this piece. And I don't know if it is from the second layer that I put on. I did a clear layer first before I added more color, and I don't know if it was from that or if it was from the mineral spirits that I used in there that just kept that blue tone. Kind of cool. But anyway, yeah, so this is part 2. If you want to see part 1, I will leave a link in here to that video. So some of the resin seeped out. I think it was in between the layers of silicone. Now I'm trying to show you here some of the edges here, that there's just sharp bits that I need to get rid of. And it's so hard. This piece is pretty big. There we go. So I'm just going to use my heat gun and heat up around the edges and use my knife to just cut those off. So I'm going to get those edges cleaned up, and now I'm going to use some painter's markers and make some lines in here. Just very simple with this one. I'm using a black, blue, and pink. So with this black, you'll see here in a minute, there we go. I'm going around the outside edges. Now, you don't have to use a painter's pen. You can use like acrylic paint to paint around the edges if you want. You don't have to paint them at all. So yeah, just going to make some lines here. Like I said, this is part 2 of this piece. I will have a link for part 1. I'll also leave a link in here if you want to know, if you haven't seen and you want to know how to make the freeform molds. I have a video for that, so I'll link that in here. I also crushed those stones, those pink and black stones, myself. I have a video on showing you how to do that, so I will leave that linked in here too. So here I made a mistake on one of my lines, and I just wanted to take that off. Now I'm using a paper towel with some alcohol on it. It's a whole lot easier if you use like a Q-tip with alcohol. I just didn't have any Q-tips left in my room, and I didn't want to run back upstairs to get any. And here I decided, it's hard to see, but I had I did some blue lines down there that I ended up not liking, so I'm taking those off. I will have everything that I used for this part 2 here in the description below. So I've taped off the back here because I have decided that I want to build up that center. I want more stones in the middle there. So I've taped off the back, which is painter's tape, and I dumped some of those stones on the plate because I want bigger pieces, and I'm just using my hot glue gun, and I'm going to just glue those all the way around the center. Now, I'm making sure that I do not get underneath, because that's just going to cause problems when I go to take the tape off and when I resin and all that. So I'm making sure that I stay on the lip of this piece. And yeah, I'm just picking out some bigger pieces to kind of make a barrier around there. And then I will go in and just sprinkle, here we go, some smaller pieces around that barrier that I made, but also being mindful not to go over. Since I did the marker lines, I don't want to cover those up. So now that I've mixed up about 8 ounces of resin, I'm using just the general use resin from the Epoxy resin store, and going in here and making sure, this is just clear resin, making sure that those stones that I just put on there are all covered. Now doing this like this, I do have a lot of runoff down there. When I am completely done with this piece, I wait at least half an hour, and I come back with my silicone spatula and scoop up what has fallen in the middle there, and by this point it's tacky, and I just pour it right back on those stones so that it'll stay. Now here I have set some clear resin aside in case I need any more. With the rest of it, I put a little bit of that, oh, let's see, it was white ignition dust in there, and I mean very little. There's not much in there at all. And I got that glitter from, it's a Just For You Online UK glitter that I got from Catherine at Drier Days. So here, just spreading it out, making sure that everything's covered. Now, you might want to wear double gloves doing this because I do end up ripping my glove on those stones and some of the sharper pieces on the edges. And then I'll come in here with my heat gun, kind of heat it up, smooth it out. I'll use my torch to pop any bubbles. And when I'm satisfied that there's nothing in there. This is the clear resin again, just making sure that I have all those stones covered. So when I'm satisfied that there's like nothing in the resin, I have no dust has fallen in there or any little bits of anything in my resin, I will cover this and leave it sit for 24 hours. So here we go. I'm going to take the tape off the back. Now I'm wearing gloves to do this just because I don't want to leave any fingerprints on the front of my piece. So taking the tape off, if it's a little hard to peel off, just use your heat gun, heat those drips up a little bit, and they should peel off. If you're still having trouble, you can, after heating them, you could cut the edge where the drips are with your knife, and they'll come off of there. You see how easy this come off. I just heated those drips with my heat gun there, and they will pull right off. So I'm just going to continue to clean up this back here and show you the finished piece. Here we go. Back's all cleaned up there. Now I will take this outside. This piece is so big that, and the sun's not right. I'm trying to show you all the sparkle in it, but I kept getting in the way. My shadow kept getting in the way. So yeah, this part's kind of jumpy. I'm sorry about that. I'll have pictures coming up here though of it. So yeah, that's it for this piece. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this one. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And till next time, thanks everyone. Bye.